Welcome in, guys. Tonight, we are going to be talking about indie comics. We're also going to be playing a new game called Drunk-O-Vison and ending the night strong on what we're eating. Don't go anywhere. This is Comic Book Food Chain. Welcome in, guys. This is the third episode of Comic Book Food Chain. Again, guys, this is as far as we know, the only podcast that gives you the perspective from down the food chain, from the creative perspective. You've got the retailer end, and then, of course, you've got the collector end. Joined with me is my guy, creator, writer, Frank Gogol. How are you doing tonight, Frank?
Doing all right. How's it going, man?
Chilling, enjoying my week. And then, of course, we've got the backbone of the industry here. We've got the collector, Mr. Aaron Yee. How's your week going, buddy?
It's going pretty good. Man, every time I see that intro, I just want to stand up and start dancing. But,
dude, I was like in my chair. It was
fun, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It hits. But again, guys, welcome in. We're about to get into some very, very cool topics. Let's see. Topics. So let's see, Frank, where do you want to kick it off at? We got this really cool thing that we're trying to get to. Give me some more info on what we're trying to accomplish here in the next week.
All right. So, Aaron, if you could bring up the slides, we are going to talk about our road to 1,000 subs.
Cool. Absolutely.
There it is. So when we last left off, we had announced the winner for the 200 sub giveaway. That was my buddy Tim Burnham, who should get his comics this week. They just went out. And we had announced what the 300 sub giveaway would be. It's on screen right now. It is going to be a joint set of the Bird City Comics Alien #1 exclusive, courtesy of Ant and Bird City Comics, and a set of #1 issues by myself, including Dead End Kids, No Heroine, and Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job #1s, various #1s, different variants. And we are going to announce the winner of those 6 comics right now on the next slide. And this week's winner is Kevin Aranda. Kevin, if you're watching or if you see this later, hit us up. You can email us at comicbookfoodchain@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Instagram at comicbookfoodchain. Just find a way to get in touch with us, get us your address, and we will get those out to you.
Attaboy. Congrats, Kevin, buddy. Good job.
Congrats.
Do any of us know him this time?
I don't know this one.
Do not. Wait, he liked the show, so hopefully...
Shout out to the real fan who didn't come here because we told him to.
Right on.
All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's do a current subscriber update. Where are we at today? Holy shit, we are at 700. That happened this afternoon. We crossed the 700 line, which means we are now 4 giveaways behind.
Love it.
Which we thought we knew would happen, so we planned for it. So if we cut to the next slide, we will tell you a little bit about what we're thinking. As the graphic says, we're going to announce the 400, 500, 600, and on the next slide, I believe 700. Just kidding, not the 700. But we're going to announce the next 4 giveaways, but we're going to do them a little differently. We like to keep this fresh. We want to keep people engaged. We want to do things, just kind of throw some curveballs in there so it stays fun. So for the next 4 giveaways, we are going to have a contest, and we're going to get you guys involved. So if you go back one more, because I have terrible memory. For the 400 giveaway, we're going to be giving away a TMNT number 96, which I believe is the first appearance of Jenica as a turtle.
It is, and this is a...
Confirm that for me.
What's the variant on this one?
It's the 1 in 10.
Yeah, this is the Sophie Campbell.
Yes.
Who's writing and drawing the book now. So that's a good one to have for a lot of reasons. The 500 winner is going to get the Ice Cream Man Dr. Seuss cover for number 20, courtesy of Aaron.
Nice.
It's a big get. That's a hot book right now. For the 600 winner, Aaron is also going to put up his local comic shop day, sick #1. It's the foil cover, not the first print, but still pretty cool. And then for the 700 winner, I am going to put up my personal copy of American Vampire #1, which is going to tie into something we're going to talk about later. But it's a good key. Indie #1. My copy is not the best copy. It's definitely not a 9.8. It's my personal copy, but I believe in passing along good stories, so I wanted to get that out there in the world. So that's what we're doing, and here's how we're going to do it. On the next slide. There we go. We want you guys to pitch us your fun segment. This is our third episode. By now, you hopefully realize that every week we're doing a fun segment to kind of round out the back half of the show. We did Civil War last week. We're doing Drunk-O-Vison this week. The first week we had the John Boy Spicy Noodle interview. But we want you guys to have a little say in what we do around here. So we're going to have a little contest. Pay attention to the rules. I tried to write them as clearly as possible, and I think they're clear, but I never know what other people are going to think of my instructions. So when this video goes live for on-demand viewing on the channel after this airing is over, so when it is on the channel and you can click on it and watch the replay, go over there. Yeah, go over there after this. Leave a comment with a pitch for what you want to see us do, your segment. Doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. It could be some stupid game you invented from a pun, goofy name you came up with. It could be something you've seen somewhere else that you'd like to see us give a shot. But go over there, comment with your pitch for what you want to see us do. Next episode, we'll tell you what we thought were the top 4 best ones. And for the week between next episode and the episode after. So,
Hold on. Did you see that comment, Gogol?
All right, that's my wife, and she knows that we want to do that. So,
it's
spoiler.
a great idea.
All right, I want Aaron, and you can have both of them blondes. How's that?
I will take it.
Nice.
Anyway, idiot wife says what?
What?
So for the week between episodes 4 and 5, we will have a poll running here on YouTube. You can go in, vote for your favorite of our 4 picks. On episode 5, which will air on 3:30, we will announce our pick for the winner, and that person's segment will be adapted into a fun segment sometime in April. The 4 people we pick as the top picks will randomly be picked to get one of the 4 comics I just told you about. So that's how we're going to divvy up the next set of giveaways to get us up to speed. Technically, it'll put us behind because we're going to wait like another 2 weeks to do it, but we have a plan. We have a plan.
We got it on paper, guys. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So when this is up on demand, when you can go see this as a replay, go leave us your comment. I gotta be honest, I have no idea how many people will actually do this. So if you go, there's a really good chance you might be one of the only people, and we'll be stuck with you, and you'll get a free comic. So you who knows? So that's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, that sounds freaking awesome to me, guys. So make sure that you guys participate. Wait for the rewatch, like Frank said. Don't put your ideas in now. Save them. Think about it. Write it down. Make sure it works for the show. So take all that into account. Bring us a really cool idea, and then you guys can contribute. You've got the food chain here anyway, so you might as well let us fight it out your style. That sounds like a good time to you.
Just remember, comment on the video when it's a replay, not comments in the comments here during the live stream. All right, so now that is out of the way, let's talk about where we're heading with the giveaways. We don't want to tell you what the 800 and the 900 are, but we did want to give you a hint at what the 1,000 is, what we're heading towards. So when we hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to give away my personal copy of the San Diego Comic-Con Canto #1. My copy is signed by David Booher and Drew Zucker, the writer and artist and creators of Canto. They're buddies of mine. It's my personal copy. It was a gift to them to me from them. But after talking to them and after their big news this week with Canto getting picked up for animation, we thought it would be a really cool thing to give you guys something to kind of work towards, sharing the links for the show and subbing and giving you a reason to come back.
Super hot book.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any colder between now and probably 2 years from now when the movie actually ends up coming out, because these things take a while. So that is where we are heading. We have the roadmap for the next ones. It's all not filled in yet, but we can show it anyway. So 700 is going to be one of the winners from the segment pitch contest. We'll find out the 800 one next week because we announced Kanto for 1,000 this week. So we're just going to switch that up a little bit. And we're just, we're on our way. We are moving much faster than we anticipated. And it's a good problem to have, like we said last week, but we're excited.
Yeah, this thing's been kicking all kinds of butt. You guys are enjoying what we're doing. We're going to keep it up for you guys. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes. You guys ready to do this thing? All right, guys. So again, please make sure you sub, encourage people to sub. That was the whole thing. We're giving away some cool stuff. But let's get into the topic of the week. All right, guys, topic of the week. We are talking indie comics. We're going to get into the all the good stuff, all the juicy centers about this stuff, because indie comics have got a lot of steam right now. Great stories are off the beaten path of superheroes sometimes, but we got a lot of stuff to get into. So where do you guys want to kick this bad boy off at?
Why don't we just do a quick roundtable? Everybody's kind of takes from the point of view, right?
Sure.
Kind of position ourselves.
All right. So we got the food chain all set up in the flowchart style. Frank, from the creative aspect, what are you thinking? What's your take on indie books?
I just want to point out that I don't go first because I'm the creator. I go first because I'm the Civil War champion. Just in case I forgot. But since we're on me, obviously I make indie books. Right? Dead End Kids, Grief, No Heroin, some stuff that's unannounced. So like this is my bread and butter. This is how I'm involved in the industry.
This is your wheelhouse.
Yeah, like it's the best fucking part of comics, hands down. But even beyond that, like I am also still in that reader space, and like I think that it's just kind of like the Fertile Crescent. It's like where the good stories are happening. Like I love Marvel. I read a lot of DC too. We've talked about this. I can only read about the Hand in Daredevil so many times. I can only read, Captain America versus Red Skull so many times, and there's only so many fresh takes. But indie comics are like a nice space for people to tell, new stories that haven't been told yet, different stories that I haven't seen as a comic. Iterate on those things that we've seen a bunch of times, like Kyle Higgins' Radiant Black is obviously a huge homage to Power Rangers, but it's a fresh take on it. So like there's a lot of space in there for creativity and for people to get a leg up and get into the industry and kind of build a calling card for themselves. Like for me, it's the most indispensable part of the industry because the rest of the industry doesn't happen without people doing this part first.
Right. And something that I was thinking about, like, have you ever been sitting there watching a movie of your favorite genre, let's say like mine, sci-fi, and do you ever have that moment when just an idea pops in your head and you're like, that would be a great book or another movie or a TV show? This is where those ideas live. They live in this indie genre of these guys that go, man, that would be a great book. And then they write them. There's no, they build the world and the universe within themselves. Because it's their story. They don't have to follow the rules. They don't get probably a guidebook this thick on how to write Batman and what you can and can't say, because it's your world. So it's very interesting because, from the creative end of it, you guys get to put a little bit of yourselves into every story. From the retailer end of it, you got to figure out which writers are really being received well by an audience. What's identifiable? What do people look at and go, yeah, I get what that guy's saying, even if it's way out there in, space and this is happening, which, obviously that's not realistic just yet. But they look at the story and they go, okay, I get what this guy's doing, seeing, going through. And people, I think, really, they cling tighter to indie stories than they do to the Marvel DC, because who knows what it feels like to be Superman. I don't. Can you imagine going to get coffee and just like knocking everybody out of the way and be like, I'm next in line? It doesn't happen in my world. That from the retailer aspect of it, it's really cool to see who people are clinging to as creators and writers and go, okay, I need to buy this guy because people get what he's putting down. It's a whole nother ballgame.
If I could just tag up on that real quick too. One of the other things that's really cool about indie comics that happens in like big two and IP comics is, but to like a much less extent, is the work is important, but so is the creator. Like when you write for Marvel and you write Daredevil, Marvel and Daredevil are the brand, and then you matter. Like how you write the story is like almost tertiary to that. When I write Dead End Kids or when David and Drew write Kanto, they are as much personality in the book as Kanto or the kids in Dead End Kids, or whoever. And that's really cool too, because like it's platform building in a way that corporate comics is almost built not to let you do, just by virtue of it needing to be brand forward, and you are again accessory to that. So like I think that that's a really cool part of it too. Like I never want to stop writing indie comics, even if I'm writing Spider-Man. Like I want to do creator owned stuff, and I want to do it with a small publisher who's going to let me do it the way I want and let me like create the stories I want. So like that's just like another way to view it. That is, it's interesting to me.
Sure. And Yi, like absorbing all this, what do you gravitate to as somebody that reads and looks for these books?
Well, as you know, like I'm a person that's recently returned back into comics. So, like, of course, I'm going to gravitate to what I'm familiar with, like, the Marvel, the DC. But then, I grew up in the 90s, so I definitely read independent comic books. So, anywhere from Valiant to Image, like I saw the formation of Image, but even though it didn't mean much to me then, it means a lot to me now. So I definitely like have a greater appreciation for indie comics now than I ever did. That's what I look forward to reading every single week. Like I'm not always looking forward to reading what the latest Marvel story is, or or even something simple like right now. Like you have two different versions of Star Wars High Republic. You have the Marvel version, and then you have the IDW version. I'm personally enjoying the IDW High Republic Adventures more than I am enjoying the Marvel. And then for a collector's standpoint too, like when you collect indie comics, usually there's a lower print count for everything, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes like when you're trying to find back issues of certain books, it's harder to find. And so like if you're not on it right away, you can miss out.
Or if you missed it by 30 years and you're coming to it now and you want it and it's 10 grand.
Right. Like, yeah, for those like very small Valiant print runs of whatever, that's like almost impossible to find, or like some random ash can that like, maybe 100 people have or less.
Yeah, like first appearance of Hellboy is like not a Hellboy comic. It's like a brochure for an Italian Comic-Con or something crazy like that.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con, Dark Horse Presents #2, I think.
I think even before that, Mignola did a cover for an Italian Comic-Con. I might be getting this wrong, but that's when he just doodled the character and it kind of stuck with him, and it eventually became Hellboy. So like for some people, that's the first appearance. But Hellboy is a good example because it's a true indie book in the sense that it's creator owned and it's small print runs in the beginning and wildly beloved. Like that's actually one that we didn't talk about before this that I'm surprised didn't come up when we were kind of planning the episode.
Oh yeah, Hellboy. Like I'm surprised we didn't talk about that. Or even Spawn. Because like what's Spawn's first appearance? I mean, that's a huge debate within itself.
Yeah, wasn't that Malibu Comics too? Was a Spawn something or other? And
right, but if we're including ad space, like there's magazines appearances, like there's little brochures in the back of other comics. Like I don't have the full list.
Star Wars stuff too, because they go into the magazines and the this and that, the big oversizes, and it's like, does that count?
Maybe. I mean, I don't want to like piss anyone off, but like there are some people who have certain books and don't have other books and want the ad or like the shadowy panel of a character to be the first appearance more valuable one, and like that we can go down a whole spec rabbit hole about that kind of stuff. But like number one of an indie book, there is no book before that to tease a character, right? Like almost ever. So like that it's a different conversation.
Yeah, and to be fair with all the advertising and the way that they roll out books now, it's a little easier to follow with just because they know the collectability is a thing. I think they're kind of planning these out a little better, because back in the day, man, like you're saying, the random magazine insert that counts versus, I mean, you're talking that was in the 70s and the early 80s when they were doing a lot of that marketing. So we fight over that era, but going forward, they seem to be like, all right, these guys are about it. We don't want people throwing down no blood. So let's make sure number one is number one.
Right. Like the turtles, like yeah, they're turtles. Like Gobbledygook #1, the back issue or the back page is like an ad for the Ninja Turtles, and then you also have something like I forgot the comic, but for the first appearance of Crow, that's also a back ad space,
which gets less money than the #1. So like that's one where it worked out like correctly.
Right.
Which is, we're gonna get to this when we do picks, but Crow is my #1 indie comic of all time. And like I have a set signed by James. I have a great story about James and my wife and terrible things. We're not going to tell it here.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm not going to make you tell it now. I'm just saying though, bleeding in like that and going, but not right now. That's like being like, oh, kids,
we got a really nice painting of a cat. But no, but that was my girl book for a long time. And I got a set. I got him to sign it, and But for a little bit, I was like, well, do I want the ad cameo, true first appearance, or do I want the book? And for me, as a writer and a creator and somebody who values story, like I don't give a shit about an ad. Like that is not story. It doesn't tell you anything about the character other than what they look like. So like that's, to me, like not to put a stake in the ground too firmly, but that's not really a first appearance.
And
that's not really
the collectability of stuff. Those everybody gets their opinion. If that's your opinion, that's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah, no, like listen, I've got a lot of wrong opinions. I'm not saying that. Right.
And you're married. You hear them daily. I get it.
Yeah. Been stuck in the house for over a year too, so it's wearing on me.
Good times.
Yeah, but the completionist in me wants it all. Like you gotta get it up. Yeah,
don't
get them all.
Don't get me wrong. Like I'm gonna go get that Crow comic eventually. Like just so I can not have to even think about it and worry about it. Like just
never worry. So Yi, what you're saying is you have to catch them all.
Yeah, more or less, right?
It's not like you have to Power Ranger them all. You have to catch them all. Get it? All right.
So that actually brings up kind of a fun thing that I'd like to ask you guys. We're gonna do picks, and this is different than picks. But what is your indie grail? What is the one indie book that you want to catch that you don't have? Think about it hard. Don't say something obvious, because I think there's some really obvious ones that everybody wants. But like, what's the one book you want?
Do you want me to go first, Ant? Because it looks like you're thinking about it.
Yeah, you go first.
I want you to go first.
Okay, so I have two obvious ones. I have one obvious one, which is, my favorite title is Something is Killing the Children. Mm-hmm. So the one I'm chasing after is the Ghost Fairy, the #6, the 1 in 25, Jenny Prison. Like, I could have picked it up last year, but didn't, and I should have seen that coming a mile away. But at the same time, who would have predicted, a comic would have sold for $1,300 raw? Like, to me, that's like astronomical, and like, if the series dies down, which is probably not, like, I'm not gonna pay $1,000 for a raw book, like, ever.
Listen, I got a solution for you.
For a modern.
Scan the book, print off your own cover, and just swap it.
I mean, I'm a completionist when it comes to that run. I have the FOC, so I have the color version, so it's good enough for me. Unless, like, it magically falls in my hands, which is probably never going to happen. And then the not so obvious.
Do you know somebody who has one?
No. I mean, not personally.
Friends. Make some friends.
I'm trying.
And then rob them.
Don't
rob anything.
We're going to change it to run the comics now.
Right.
But anyways, like, my not so obvious one would be the Malibu Sun #13, the Error edition, where Spawn's all in the negative.
Yeah.
That would be like an awesome girl to have.
All right.
What about you, Matt?
This is gonna sound lame because it's a hot book right now, and because of the series, but The Boys, and the only reason is because I bought a collection that had issue #1 through whatever, like it went on for a while. And I sent in the #1 for grading. It did come back a 9.8, and then I sold it. And then I watched the series, and I was like, this is pretty freaking awesome. And then my buddy Tim was like, dude, I have all the books if you want to read the books, like all of them. So then I read the comic book series, and I'm like, and then I just had to have it back. And then by the time I got around to that, it was way more expensive than I was willing to pay for. And so it's one of those ones I'm like looking at it as it drives away from me in the rearview mirror going, I've had that damn thing in my hand.
Dude,
Yeah.
that book's not just driving away; it's flipping you off as it goes. It's just like
On the way out the door.
Yeah.
But
It was like
you
I'm gonna burn some bridges here, but it's like, you know, like the chick, like what's the movie where the chick's not super hot and then she gets super hot, and then
Oh,
like,
she's all that.
How's that?
that one that's this book for me is She's All That, because I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll sell it, I'll make
Don't worry
a
about
little bit of cash.
That's a fine thing to say because that
Okay.
girl was hot the whole time, and Freddie Prinze Jr. is just an idiot.
Correct. Okay, good. Cool. A little makeover, a little press, a little clean.
Sure,
You know.
we all get cleaned up. It's fine.
And then another one that I've been wanting for my PC, and which is crazy because I own one currently, but I want an extra one to stash, is the Raphael #2. Not
From the
Raphael
micro
#2,
tool?
Raphael #1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles oversized issue. I
First
want
Station
one for
Jones.
me.
I got you. I got two of them.
Okay, so I have one, and it's a 9.2, and I'm a super snob, and I want it to be just over the 9.2, and that's the one I'll keep.
Okay, we'll talk.
My guy.
Nice.
See, I know people. What do you got?
I know people too.
You've got that Ice Cream Man #20. That's what he's got.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
I have all 3 prints, or I guess technically now all 4 prints. So
There you go. All right, well, that gives us to you, Gogol. What you got?
I'm going to be a basic bitch about this one after I told you guys not to be, but only because it truly is the one book I currently don't have that I do want. If you look behind me on the wall, you can see there's an Avengers #1, a Fantastic Four #1 and 5. I just got my first Grail book this week as a gift, actually. It's over behind my head all the way to the left. Sentai #2, first Power Rangers in comics, save for the Fruit of the Loom underwear variant, which almost is non-existent. So that leaves literally one book that I want for my collection, and it's the most expensive book I'll ever buy if I ever buy it, and it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. I would like a first print of that to complete my first print run of that, and that's it. Then I'm done collecting.
There you go. Put it.
Oh, wow.
Nail in the coffin. Yeah, that's awesome. Man.
done for collecting. That's it.
I mean, I'm sure I'll find something else to spend money on. Like, it's never been hard to find a new thing, but like
Yeah.
as far as comics go, my habits have changed as I've gotten older. Like, I used to collect a lot, and now I collect a few titles and a few creators I really like, and then I look for books that mean something to me. Or like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the thing that probably got me into comics, or at least one of them, watching the cartoon as a kid. So like,
Absolutely.
it's got sentimental value, and it's also just a dope fucking book. Like, it's the wrong size, the cover's all jacked up with the way they laid it out. Like, I mean, it's a true indie book in so many ways.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm always happy with mine.
Yep. I sold a #1 third printing a few weeks back, and that one was like, I had it here and it's in my hands, and I'm like, this can't leave the house. And Laura's like, dude, you can't keep everything. I'm like, I know. So yes, a #1 first print will be on my Grail list as well, so I can put a nail in my collecting coffin.
You want to go halves on one and then just timeshare it?
Totally do like the divorce thing, so you get
Yeah.
it like half the year and I get it the other half.
No, I was thinking like every other weekend, like a true divorce.
That's a lot in shipping, but I'm down.
You could do like every quarter
There you go.
because there's
We
4
will
quarters.
discuss this with the attorney.
Yeah, we can't do that because they have friends here and they have friends there, and that's just not fair to the book. So.
But honestly, before I bought that double cover for issue 3, I was debating buying your 1 through 4. Like, I was like, how many times am I going to get a chance?
4.
Yeah, I was like, I already have a #3 already signed, and I already have a #4. I was like, I do need a 2 and a 1. So I was like, I don't know.
Guys, we got to dial it back. The true structure of the show is starting to show through. Where I talk
that's
about
the hardest
something.
part. You guys, creating your content is yours. Collecting, you buy what you want to buy. You know how hard it is for stuff to roll through here and me go, I guess I got to sell this, but I want to keep it so bad. It's constant.
Give yourself 5, and you can switch it out anytime you want. Swap in one for another, but keep it to 5.
You know who's the worst when we get new collections?
Laura.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
she's
I
on the
gotta,
show.
watch
She's
it.
on the show. Like, I claimed that before anyone else, and it's like kind of like, oh man, I wanted that.
You guys bought a collection that had my stuff in it, and she was like, "I'm keeping all of this." I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but
It's all signed by you. She was like, "This." He
that
signed
makes it
these
worth
before-
less.
No, until you
signed
put in
these
the
before we knew him.
until you put in the pedigree from the collection of Frank Gogol.
I want your scent sprayed on it so they're extra.
You know what? The San Diego Comic-Con one that she got out of that box might actually smell like me because San Diego is a fucking nightmare, and there's no way that you're not going to be.
Yes, here it is.
But if it was a 9.8, maybe not. I don't remember. You guys want to do some picks?
Let's do some picks. Let's roll on.
So these are our picks for our all-time favorite indie books. Is that correct?
Yes, the two books that you think are the best indie books for you, not the best ever, not for anyone else, but like your favorites.
So if you guys are paying attention, we're getting to the picks. If you've not read these, give them a try. These are our favorites.
Yeah, and if you go on Instagram next week, I'm sure there will be some kind of slide through picture of all of these, just like last week. But pay attention now. So I had a feeling I knew where you guys were going to go, and like there are some really big picks that are kind of obvious, so I wanted to really dig deep, and it worked out because two of my favorite books are kind of deep cuts. A lot of people know The Crow movie, a lot of people know The Crow is a book, but not a lot of people, I think, have read The Crow, and I would argue that it is probably the best indie book ever made as an indie book. Like if you know the story behind like how they made the book, they were like Xeroxing pages in the back room of a comic shop to put this thing together originally. I mean, like it's such a historical document for comics. It's such a underratedly beautiful story. Like everyone knows it as like this violent, ultra violent Frank Miller-esque book, but it's a love story. It's about a dude who loved the chick so much that when she died and he died, he came back from the dead to avenge her. Like that's Romeo and Juliet.
What is that even like, you know?
Yeah. I didn't put The Crow #1 as the actual pick for the picture because I think that this version, the special edition that came out, I want to say about 10 years ago, is like the best reading experience because you get all 4 issues, but James O'Barr went back after maybe 20 or 30 years and added new pages where he thought the story needed more. And there's some really great stuff in there, some really great additional art that's, 30 years more veteran an artist is drawing and painting these pages. It's a beautiful story. This is the whole vision of it. I highly recommend grabbing this. I think it's $24 for this version. It might even be cheaper if you get it, on sale wherever.
Right on.
So that's one. And then even less well-known is David Mack's Kabuki. I'm a huge David Mack fan. This is one of the first comics I ever read. It's a cyberpunk assassin, neo-Japanese story. It came out in the early 90s. It was also a Caliber comic. It's also like a really beautiful story in the way it's told. Some of the visuals are just stunning for black and white. They do a lot of transitions between shapes that are really cool, like things that I would pay attention to as a creator. But it's just a story that not a lot of people talk about. People are talking about it more now because Dark Horse put out those really nice omnibus editions, the giant hardcovers, and then now they're putting out the paperback versions. So these are pretty readily available, both of them. I definitely recommend grabbing the trade versions of these stories because they read really well as trades. I have first print sets signed by the creators of both. These are my favorite books. You should check them out too.
So I have a question. So anybody just jumping in the hobby with the last couple of years, David Mack, we obviously know him as an artist and that watercolorist. Now he's the writer on this book too?
Yeah. So totally getting in the weeds here, but a lot of people don't know this. David Mack and Brian Bendis are super frequent collaborators. They've done work going back as far as Daredevil together, and then they did cover at DC a couple years ago. Like they've been working together for probably almost 30 years. When Brian first got started doing comics, he wanted to be an artist. And when David first started, he wanted to be a writer. And they ended up going the opposite ways. But this was back when David was still trying to be a writer. He wrote all of the Kabuki series. I think there's 8 total. This is the only one that he drew. After this, he brought on other artists. As far as I remember, this is the one I like most out of all of them. The other ones I'm not so on top of. But yeah, so he wrote and drew this one. It's definitely like a little bit better than like a made in the back room of a comic shop type comic, but it is a black and white comic. It is from the early 90s. So it's got a lot of that, hyper violence and kind of cool visuals. But it's definitely a little bit before the Image era when everything was splash pages and muscles and pouches. So yeah, these are both super good books.
And that's very cool, guys. If you're just tuning in, I can tell you this right now. I'm familiar with The Crow, but I definitely want to give Kabuki a try. This is the cool part about our show, is that we're learning things about the creative aspect of stuff. And like, according to my current knowledge as of 5 minutes ago, David McElwain did cover art. So it's very cool to know that he wrote this story. It's on your top list, and I'm definitely going to give this one a try. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out both of those. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys can't be on the next episode if you don't. So
We'll see about that.
Homework, man. What did I sign up for?
All right on. Let's hit on to the next one here. Who's up next?
you are.
Okay, so I'm going to sound like a total snob. You guys ready for this? The first time I read God Country, I was on a Hawaiian cruise.
Nice.
And so we're traveling between islands, and I had brought a stack of books to read, and I'd been wanting to read God Country forever. So I brought it with me. We're on the cruise boat, and I'm reading God Country, and Laura's like, do you want to go do this? You want to go do that? And I'm like, no. I just knocked out book 1. You're going to have to wait till I get through the series. Don't even bother talking to me. So she left our room on the boat and went to like go do stuff on the ship while I sat and read God Country beginning to end. It's a fantastic story. I want to say Kate's already had some juice by the time the God Country books came in. But again, I just heard so many good things about it, and it's a different take on how stories are told. The whole premise was just outside the box for me when I started reading. I'm like, oh, this is going to make sense. And it really didn't, but it still worked. If that makes any sense. You just don't pair those things together and then end up with a great story, but you do. So I do like the way he draws aspects in, gives you a different perspective on it that normally you wouldn't put together, but still he ends up ironing out all the details where it makes sense. So yeah, I did really appreciate the God Country story a lot, and hopefully you guys have read this one.
Yeah.
And then going on to my next pick, you got 7 to Eternity.
Right.
Have you guys read 7 to Eternity yet?
I started it.
You started it?
I started it, but I never finished.
There's 2 issues left still, so you can catch up.
Yeah, and they're just starting to reproduce this book again. They stopped. What did they stop around 12 or 15 or somewhere in that range? So, can I tell them? Okay, so Laura was having an issue like falling asleep and something. This was when the book first came out, and she was having like, I don't know. She was just, I would read this to her to put her to sleep. Because I would tell her, I'm like, let me read this book to you, and it's really good. And she's like, okay, sure. It's super lame, and I'll fall asleep to it. Well, it ended up having a reverse problem. Is she would sit there and she'd be like wide awake, like what happens next? So her and I really bonded over this title. And then I passed it on to my daughter, and I was like, told my daughter hates comic books. She hates books that don't end. Let me rephrase that before I get jumped on here. She can't handle if they don't conclude. She doesn't like waiting for another issue. It's too much for her.
So she's not a saga fan.
Right. Oh God, that would drive her nuts.
So
she
she
reads
must really
big,
hate
thick,
manga.
dude. She reads big, thick novels. Like she'll order books constantly. She's a big reader. But I gave her this book. I gave her 1 through like 9. I was like, here, just read these 1 through 9 and give it a shot. So the next day I went back in her room, and I'm like, all right, I want my comics back. And she's like, can you get me another set of these? Because I want to reread them. And I had her. So I definitely had a lot of in-house bonding over the 7 to Eternity title. It's very, very well written, sci-fi, fantasy. It's very cool.
Both of these are books that I like a ton. God Country in particular. Like I'm not the biggest Donny Cates fan. Like I have nothing against Donny's work, but like
Sure.
This was, I read Buzzkills and I read Ghost Fleet, and like they were good. This book like is on another level. And part of that I think is Jeff Shaw. Like the art in this book, especially the coloring. I mean, just look at the color on that cover. Like it's not like a lot of other things. And like just those two together, and like knowing the amount of love they poured into it. Like I know that they went out into West Texas and like spent a lot of time like photographing the landscape and like kind of taking it in. This book is a love letter in a lot of ways, and it's a big epic story about a really small thing like family. And like that's not something you see a lot of. Like that's the kind of stuff like I like to read and hope I write about. It's so this book spoke to me in a big way. Like I like
Yeah.
7-2 as well. First time I tried to read it, I did stop and had like a false start. Like it is very dense, and I'm not very good with dense books. But I did pick it back up.
It's a slow burn. You
Yeah,
got to get to book 3 and 4, and then book 1 through 3 makes sense once you're around 4.
exactly. Like I read the first 6 issues after they came out. I was like, but then like when I had more to dig into, like had up to 15, I think. Like I was like, oh, this is great. But like it's one of those things. Like it would be like getting half a novel, right? And then like having to wait
Yeah.
4 more years for the rest of it. Like this is a book that doesn't maybe work as a comic book as well as some of the other Remender stuff.
It definitely works better as a trade when you can read it straight through.
Yeah.
I used to make fun of this. So have you guys ever seen when they give you the credentials on a book and it's like, colorist, pencil, or cover artist, whatever, and then they get down to letterist or letterer?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I never had an appreciation for letterist or letterers, however they want to be identified, until God Country and 7 to Eternity. Like, just pay attention to whoever did the lettering and how they do the word bubbles and this and that. It's fantastic. And that was the first time I was like, oh, I stopped making fun of that guy, because this is pretty fucking awesome.
So that's actually a really interesting thing that you bring up. The reason that you don't have appreciation for a letterist or a letterer is because their job is to not be noticed, which is like kind of a crappy job when like you do such a good job and people don't notice, and that's like the goal. Lettering should look like it's part of the art, and it shouldn't stand out, like good lettering. And when you do appreciate it and you do notice it, like it's very rare, because you only ever notice when things are lettered poorly. I read like an all ages graphic novel not that long ago. I won't say which one because I don't like to shit on other creators. But this was like a big top 2 Scholastic type publisher, and one of their best selling like million copy graphic novels. And the lettering was so bad that I couldn't read it. Like this was a book with millions of copies, and I didn't understand that. So just everyone watching, just take a moment to appreciate your letters. There's some really great ones out there. Sean Reinhardt does my letters. Ed Dugshire does almost everything at Boom. He's a friggin' hero. Taylor Esposito does a ton for, I think, Vault and Black Mask. Like these are people who don't get a lot of appreciation, but you can't have a comic without them in almost all instances. Like very rarely can you have a silent no words comic.
Yeah, and I think it's a small percentage of people. Yee, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. When you're reading the book and you read something significant to yourself, do you reread it and change your voice to match the lettering or the character in your head?
So I always try to imagine the character's voice in my head. Like every time I hear, I read a Batman comic, I hear, what's his name?
Christian Bale.
No, from Batman and the Batman animated series.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. I always hear his voice, and anytime I see the Joker, I always hear Mark Hamill. Like every time, yeah. But also, what I was gonna say is like, I love the covers for God Country issues 1, especially what they did with the Image blind box for that.
Yeah,
because like that came out around that time, and then like those covers are fucking killer.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those were my picks. If you have not read them, please give them a try. Finish God Country. Read 7 to Eternity to at least issue number 4, between 4 and 6, because you got to get a lot of backstory, and they dive pretty deep into it. And then we're going to move on. We got Aaron's picks up here.
All right. As I said earlier today, Something is Killing the Children is my absolute favorite series that's ongoing right now. They're in a bit of a pause until May when the series picks up. They've just finished their first story arc with the first 15 issues. Like each issue I read is just like kept me like, oh, I want to read more. I got to know what happens next. Like, what's about her past? Like, who is this new mysterious character? Where are these monsters coming from? Like, yeah. And then, I thought about it. I was like, you got to go back to the classics. Like, why do we love indie comics? And I immediately thought of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like every time, like I think of that Turtles. Like when I was little, I used to watch the movies, the cartoons, and then my parents even found like some of the first like graphic novels of the first, I think like 6 or 8 issues or something like that. And my parents bought it, for like $1. So which I think is worth money now, but I mean I really don't care because it's something from my childhood and I'll probably never sell. So
Shouldn't.
but then I bought IDW reprinted them, so I've definitely bought this. Which this has like the first 7 issues, and it has the Raphael. So I definitely bought these instead of reading through like me trying to complete the whole original run. I mean, I'm not going to try now because prices are going ridiculous for each comic. Like when it's when it was $5 a piece, that's not too bad to like try to complete. But when they're $20 a piece or more, like count me out.
Yeah, they're more than that.
Yeah, I know. Depending on the issue, I'm just trying to average out if you're bulk buying and all that. Yeah.
You know what's funny about this cover though? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cover. You guys see the tails?
Yeah.
So the original toy. Have you guys seen the documentary on Netflix, The Toys That Make Us?
Yeah.
Give it a watch because they touch on the turtle figures because this artwork they have tails. So the first prototype of the toy came out and they gave them the tails, but it looks too much like a private area. So they had to pull the tail from the art and then they switch it later in the comics to remove the tail from the toy.
What's up, Blue Green? But anyways, with the turtles also with that documentary, it also led to Eastman and Laird getting back together.
Yeah.
So does or I guess I'll ask the audience, do you know why they call it Mirage Studios?
Oh, yeah, you were telling us.
Yeah, I was telling y'all backstage or just like in a meeting sometime. So I'll wait a few minutes, but anyways, I love how like the comics in black and white, I mean, it's probably too violent for like when I was a kid to read, but whatever. But anyways,
is it too violent compared to that time frame or this time frame? Because we all thought Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a kids movie, and then you show your kids now, and you're like, you guys should not be watching this.
Yeah.
So
all right.
This is hysterical. One of the more recent Ninja Turtle cartoons, I don't know which one because I didn't watch anything other than this episode, but they did like a series of crossovers with previous iterations. So like the first one was whatever the current iteration is with the 90s one, and then they did a follow-up to it where they interacted with the Eastman and Laird comic ones, and they're black and white when they're on the screen and they have like the red headbands, but they also have like these really dark internal monologues, but you can hear them. So like it's like the modern turtles who are kind of like, for kids thinking like, why are these guys so fucking dark? Why are they so violent? So I think they're probably still too violent.
Yeah. So back to why it's called Mirage Studios. It's because Eastman and Laird, they didn't actually have a studio. They were working out of their home. They were roommates, and then they were working on turtles. I'm not wearing my turtles hat, but the first turtle they created was Raphael, and they started their studio company called Mirage Studios because it was a mirage of a studio.
That's clever.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Nice.
And Raphael is the first turtle.
Yes.
Right on.
And that's why he's the best.
He's totally the best. Which I don't understand why he
I would
didn't
have to
survive
disagree.
the apocalypse, but I'm just saying.
Can we just all agree that Donatello is the worst turtle?
Oh, God.
I mean, he's the only one that died, right? In the IDW series.
What a bitch.
But he didn't even die. Like when he died, I was like, yes. My son's like, I need that comic. So I got it for him, and they're like, he's still alive. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, we should probably start an we got enough change.org petitions going around. Let's just start another one to get Donatello killed again, for real.
Do like a Death in the Family event?
But is Leonardo not overrated?
I think it depends on like what story and who's writing them. Like Leonardo is a good character, but like he can be used very badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he's written like Captain America, he sucks. When he's written like from the angle of like somebody who's got a lot of honor, like he can be very interesting.
Yeah, so like a Last Ronin story, he would have been great in because he's got that whole thing going for him already. But when he gets super Captain America,
is he not the turtle in Last Ronin?
I don't know. Everybody's still debating that, even though I'm still on board.
They clarified it in issue 2.
I know.
They clarified it in issue 2. So I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't read it yet because, we need.
Well, everybody gave me shit over my comment from issue number 1. Read issue number 2.
I mean, we need like at least like 4 printings of issue 1 and then like 100 covers. So
Right.
So we just had a comment up on the screen about the turtles falling in the same coop that gave Daredevils his powers, and that's not true. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a spoof on Daredevil. It's so that's why they're called the Foot, because Daredevil fights the hand.
Yeah.
You know, Splinter is their stick. Like, yeah, I mean, like it is just totally a ripoff where they just made everybody into turtles, in a good way, because I love it. It's better than Daredevil.
Right? The spoof is better than what it spoofed.
yeah, I think I've read more Turtles than I've read Daredevil. So I mean, I may lose credibility, but whatever.
Whatever.
There's good runs of both.
Right.
Oh yeah,
All
I guess
right,
the
guys,
Frank
that was
Miller
our
one,
pick.
right?
The Frank. Oh yeah. I mean, it's Frank Miller though. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our picks of the week, guys, or at least our indie picks.
Oh.
If you guys want to check those out, we encourage you to do so. Like you said, I've got some reading that I definitely want to do now, talking with the guys. But we've got a whole new segment planned. Fellas, are you ready to get into it?
I gotta pour my beers.
I was born ready.
Okay, so before we get started, guys, we are required to have shot glasses to play. I got mine handy. It is going to be oh shit! This is our pug.
Did that dog just jump out of the ceiling?
She just jumped out from under my chair. Wow. Hi. Totally threw me off. Okay, so we're going to get into a new segment. We got a new challenge going on. It's going to be a three-way battle.
Fuck that segment. Let's interview the dog.
Okay, so Benny, who is the best comic book owner in the world? Me?
Who's the worst turtle? Is it Donatello, and why?
She says it's Donatello, and because he's super lame, he's weak, and
he died.
Why else? And he uses a bow staff.
So is she related to Lucky the pizza dog? Does she eat a lot of pizza?
Did you eat pizza? She ate pizza today. Oh shit! There she goes. Okay, we're done. Interview over. Anyway,
quick but good. All right, so why don't we cut to the sweet intro video you made, and then we'll set the table.
Yeah.
Drunk-O-Vison!
God, that's cheesy as fuck.
Dude, I grabbed my son today and I'm like, come over here. We're going to say Drunk-O-Vison into the mic. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And we just kept doing it over and over. And then I layered them all together.
Nice.
And he goes, this is stupid. And I'm like, I know, son.
I love how your kid does more work for this show than Laura does for Comic Book Women.
Wait. You love how Adam does more work for this show than Laura does for Comic Book Women? Is that what I just heard?
Yep.
So if you guys have not guessed it, before I get hit over to the side, we're going to jump into Drunk-O-Vison. What this is a game that we've come up with here. We're going to do a little indie challenge. Now on the screen, what you're seeing in front of you here is obviously Canto number 1. Our producer has taken the images and he's blurred them, so we can't see what's what. Now, fellas, official rules. Do we have to say each other's name, or are we just yelling out the answer? How are we doing this bad boy?
I thought about this. And I thought that the worst way to do it, which would be the most entertaining, is for us to just yell.
Oh, just try to yell over each other?
Yeah. Look, there are no winners, no matter how it puts out.
That's true.
But, so yeah, we'll yell answers, and if that doesn't work, we'll keep doing it anyway.
So who takes the shot?
So the game as it is imagined is we each have 7 shots in front of us. Mine are green because I'm festive. And we are going to have 25 covers. It is a race to see who can get 7 correct answers first. If you get a correct answer, you get to drink one of your shots of beer. First person to run out of shots of beer wins. It is a race. We wanted to be festive. We wanted to include alcohol, but we also didn't want to be shit-faced on the internet. We have jobs and careers, and, it's only episode 3, so let's see how the rest of 2021 goes before we go that
stretch. I don't want to pull a hammy. Let's do this thing.
Make sure I'm not getting pages for work. All right, I'm good.
All right, so from here on out, we will switch slide decks, and Tim will show us 25 slides, or 50 slides, really. It's one slide with a cover that's blurred out, as if you're seeing it drunk. It's the whole game. And we're just going to yell like assholes, and we're going to guess what the covers are.
This is crossover, right? No, I'm just joking.
We will use gentleman rules to decide who won, and we'll go through from there.
Okay, I'm in. Let's do it. Slide number 1. Here we go.
Department
Department
of
of Truth.
Did I win that?
Dude, no, we everybody thinks they won because I swear I said it. Now there's got to be a lag or something.
All right. So that one's a mulligan. We got plenty more.
Okay.
Bitch Planet.
Ooh, nice.
What?
Damn, this is gonna be tough. Okay.
Dang, he's gonna take that crown again.
Shit.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh, see, the audience is voting. Berserker.
That sounded like a tie again to me, but
I'm gonna take the shot.
You take it. You take it. You know what? If it's a tie, the person who's behind takes it.
okay.
Oh.
Handicap.
So I get the next one no matter what.
You got to guess it though, bro.
Damn.
Deadly Class.
Ooh. I couldn't remember the title.
I almost said the old art because of the color scheme, but it's not.
I'm a huge Rick Remender fan, so that was not fair for anyone.
So it's 2-0-1. Come on, guys.
Come on, I want green teeth. East of West.
Middle west or east meets west. West meets east.
East
East
of
meets
West.
west. East and west. East of west. Damn it! That doesn't count for me, does it?
No.
Shout out to East Meets West, the other YouTube channel. They're pretty cool.
So who took this? Who got this shot? Who got this point?
I'm already up by 2, so I'm going to let it slide because I want some competition.
All right. Next slide. Let's go.
Excellence. Whew.
Dang, he's like smoking us.
Dude, this is bad.
I should have studied those articles that he sent out.
I didn't open them at all. I'm going in completely blind, so if I get a point, I earned it.
I haven't seen one yet that I haven't read, so.
There you go.
This. All right, next one. Let's see. Farmhand.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Get some.
You're on the board.
I'm on the board.
Black Science. God, I even gave you guys a minute to get it. Damn.
I know.
Did you already knew what it was?
Yeah. My wife yelled that one from the other room. I heard her.
Dang.
All right, she's cool.
Gideon Falls? No. Monstrous. I don't fucking know.
Is it?
Oh, shit, I do know.
Oh, it is.
It is. Totally is. Jeez. All right. So, how many shots are you up right now?
I have 5 down and 2 to go.
Dang. Okay. All right. We got to step it up, Ant.
I really like
right?
I'm going to take 2 off.
All right, let's see what we got next.
Oh.
A Saga.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, it is.
I don't even have to wait for the picture to see that.
I knew what it was too, and I was like, that one.
Delayed it. Something is killing children?
Something's kill. Yeah. Damn it.
Ant, you just got to mute him. Aren't you like the studio master?
I know, right?
We need music.
Ooh.
Oh,
it's an image title.
Old Guard?
I don't think that's the old guard. No.
Isola?
No, that's not Isola either.
It's an image title. I know that. Oh,
jeez.
Okay, I see it now.
yep.
Yeah.
This
I was
is a
thinking
little
like
bit harder.
Walking Dead or something looks like an issue of that. But okay. Now we're getting better. Here we go.
Dang, even Rob's Comics got it before us.
Well, Rob, take a shot, bro.
Right? Shot.
The fuck is
Stray Dogs.
You get it.
Yeah. I'm catching up.
You should be down by 1 now, I think. You got 4?
I have 3 left.
Yeah. And
what?
we're gonna take the next one off. If you get it, you get it.
Yeah,
I'm getting a pity one now.
I'll take
All
a breath.
Let's do this.
I'll take a breath.
Let's do this. All right. If I don't get this one right, I'm out of the game. The
Good
fuck
luck,
is
man.
that?
Good luck.
I know it.
Is it pixel number 1?
It's rye.
Rye? I know what that is. Oh my goodness. This is pretty bad.
All right,
All right,
I think
keep 'em-
Gogol and I
keep 'em
are
coming.
tied.
My goal is to finish my shots.
We got plenty of fun left.
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
This is great.
What the fuck
I
is
don't know.
that?
the hell?
Descendants or something like that.
Descender?
Is it?
Ascender.
Is it Ascender?
Face.
Face dot.
Oh.
Look at in the
Had
That's one that doesn't pixelate well.
No.
Obviously, that's
Shepherd
that's
Fairy.
the name of the tiger's voice. What the fuck is that?
Uh,
Could be a ghost.
oh, is that Bumblebee and something? I don't remember the full title.
I know it. It's Warcorns.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Son of a bitch. Garrett's gonna kill
Oh,
me.
you cheated because you like produced that show.
I just thought I saw the eye and the nose, and I'm like, I know what that is. I got 2. We're in it.
We need music next time.
Totally.
Something to bump to.
Yeah,
Something real anxiety-inducing.
Paper Girls.
Paper Girls. Ah,
Paper
fuck.
Girls, yeah.
Me for the lead.
Yee is in it. Okay. Here
I'm
we
in
go.
it to
Get
win it.
real.
I gotta take that
Wait, how many
crown.
slides are we in?
I don't know.
This is fun. We should just do this for the next hour. Okay.
We gotta be at about 15 or 16 at
Gotta be
least.
getting there.
Lock and
Lock
key.
and key.
Fuck.
Did I
Who
take
got
the
that,
win?
me or Yee?
I don't know. I'll let the audience
I'm-
decide.
Oh,
I'm
I ran out of
taking-
shots like 5 rounds ago, guys. I was just being nice.
I'm
I
taking
know.
it, Yee. I'm catching up.
All right.
All right. I got 3 in.
Keep it going.
Oh.
Oh, Umbrella Academy.
It is. There's the Eiffel Tower. Yes.
Boom.
Good job, Yee.
It's funny because I actually almost bought a copy recently.
Nigel says, give it to Ant. Boom. Peeps are in the house.
I did. I did give him the previous
Thank you,
one.
Yee. You're the man.
Give what to Ant?
The point. I'm already struggling here, and I want to drink my beer super bad.
Listen, Ant. Listen. X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you. All right, let's see what we got here. Old guard. Boom! Bam, 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 Anthony!
Looks like an at from Star Wars.
That's how I draw legs if I was an artist. All right, I took my 4 shots, and I'm out of beer. So
You're supposed to have 7, man.
So you need 3 more.
What are you drinking? That Keystone Light?
Lagunitas.
I was drinking a Shiner cold brew coffee
I
ale.
need enough for 1 more shot.
I don't have a
Because, you
can.
know,
But,
I live in Texas, so you gotta drink Shiner.
Sure. I had a Modern Times, which is the
Nice.
best brewery in the world.
Okay, I got 3 shots. Okay.
I do like Carbox since I live in Houston.
I think I went there when I did Houston Comic Con. I went to some brewery there.
Or did you go to, what was the other one?
It's like a famous burger place nearby.
Like hole in the wall famous burger place, or
Yeah, it was like 3 blocks from the convention center, but like not towards downtown.
did you go to Papa's Burgers?
That sounds right.
Dude, that place is amazing. It's the best drunk food you'll ever eat in Houston.
Well, Ant's not getting drunk tonight, so he can't go.
I'm pretty sure I can call into work tomorrow if I want, so I might.
Are you sure your boss isn't going to get mad?
Oh, I
All right, quick, Tim, the next one. I'm not paying attention.
Oh, sorry.
What the fuck?
I want to say Sola because the colors are right, but it's not.
The logo's the wrong size.
Right.
There's not enough text for we only find them when they're dead. So
I don't know. I'm going to go pass.
Yeah, I got nothing.
ooh, John Wick.
Comic.
It's still an indie, right? Isn't
Listen,
that
it
Dynamite book?
Counts.
If Keanu Reeves is on it, not an indie comic. I don't care who he's.
We had
Yeah,
Berserker up earlier.
Yeah, not if you sell 620,000 copies,
Dude,
right?
Yeah,
This is
X-Men #1
intellectual
reboot from
property
'92.
franchise.
Backseat.
But he might come get us, so we should shut up. Black?
Man,
Is it Black? No.
no. What
It's
is
a Dark
this?
Horse book, right?
Is that Akira?
No,
This is
it's
so
not
much
Akira.
harder. So much harder than it should be.
It's fun though.
Dark
Oh,
Red.
there you go. Dang.
Is
I
it?
get it.
Blue green. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I think I have this on the side here too, which is the sad part.
We should have
Like,
been
I literally-
competing against the audience.
Dude, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if the audience beats us, then it's like time to move on to the next one.
Now then we do Jaeger bombs.
Oh man.
Jaeger bombs, Jaeger bombs,
All
Jaeger
day.
bombs, all day. Jaeger bombs. Where my khakis at? Oh shit.
Is that a White Widow cover or a Robin Hood? Something like that?
It's like
Robin Hood,
Robin Hood,
maybe.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Is that the Pat Shand issue? I can't see. It's too small.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you got that, dude. That's terrible. How many shots do you have?
What are you talking about? I already finished
He's
my
at-
last one. Yeah.
He's at 7 already?
Yeah, I've been at 7 for like 4 rounds or something like
Oh my goodness.
that.
Where are you at, Gogol?
I got 2.
You're
So
fighting for
you
second
won.
place.
Okay, I'm fighting for second. All right, keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, he's not.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Ricky, I was drunk when I said that.
Prodigy.
What'd you say?
Prodigy.
Dang.
It's limitless, but without the drug. Read it.
My big heart is making me lose. I should have just took the win when I had it.
You should have gone for the kill, bro. You always go for the throat. Come on.
I beat you so bad last week that I feel like it would be terrible to do it again.
I
Both-
limped for 2 days from that ass whooping, and then now you decided to go soft on me, and I'm capitalizing. Come on.
All right, fine. All in.
Next slide. Next slide.
Listen, if you're not second, you lose.
That's
Ice
right.
cream man.
I already know. Dang.
Shit, here we go. I talked all that shit.
And you missed the easy one too, man. Come on
Spit
now.
that out, Google.
It's so
Damn
green.
I
It's
should have
everywhere.
waited to run my mouth. Okay. Shake it off. Was that it?
We'll never know.
Shit, wait, Google, how many shots do you have left?
1.
Oh, you still win because I've got 2.
You're such a
Damn it.
not sore winner, and I hate that. Be more mad.
Hold on. How do I be more?
Throw the
mad?
shots.
Damn you.
Throw them at your camera.
Damn you. Evil Anthony's going to come get you. All right, this one's for Google. Oh, shit. This one's for Yee.
Woo.
This one's for Laura.
My guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was Drunk-O-Vison. I'm thinking that was a lot of fun. We should probably bring that one back, keep that one as a regular. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate the participation. Yee, you are a god of pixelated images. You were just smashing that out of the park.
What is that superpower good for besides this game? Were you really good at Nintendo?
Yes. I used to play way too much Nintendo for probably, instead of studying, I was playing Nintendo.
So
And my
You
grandma
fall
would
under a
even-
category Yee, that I love, obscure superheroes.
I'm
I salute you, sir.
surprised I got that Robin Hood one. I was just kind of like,
I got the Robin Hood.
So is
Whatever.
everyone who worked on that book bought that book and didn't buy that book is surprised too.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't even own one.
You just
I don't
know
want
shit
one
about
either, so
shit.
please don't send me one.
No, everyone who has one should send one to Yee.
Oh my god!
Everybody that has one of those copies, send it to Yee, flood his mailbox. It'll be hilarious. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, that was Drunk-O-Vison. This is Comic Book Food Chain. If you guys have not done so, please subscribe. Send your peeps over to us. Have them hit the little button. Have them hit the little bell. You get all the notifications when we come out with all this, whatever we're doing every week. We come up with some crazy shit. But we're going to keep on keeping on. What do you guys think? You guys want to get into the what we're eating this week?
Yeah, I'm hungry. Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right, guys. Time for the what we're eating segment of the show. Basically, where we're telling you is what we've enjoyed this week, what we've partaken this week, what has made us put a smile on the face. You come home from work, you're like, man, that day sucked. What is your go-to? Turn the frown upside down. Gogol, I'm guessing these are yours.
Yeah. What was the giveaway? The most recent season of Power Rangers kicked off a couple weeks ago, and I got a chance to catch up over the weekend. Power Rangers Dino Fury. It's another dinosaur themed one, like the OG Power Rangers, but it's got kind of a night bent to it. It's pretty good. I'm digging it. It's a nice way to kill 20 minutes on Saturday mornings while I work out, and it's more content in the Power Rangers universe for me to play with one day, hopefully. So I'm digging that. And I've been working my way for the last few months through American Vampire, and I'm just about caught up. I'm on the last 5 issues of the last finished series, second cycle. So that's been super enjoyable. It's another one of those books where I kind of didn't get into it right away. Kind of like with Seven to Eternity. But after I kind of powered through and like got a feel for the book, like it's brilliant. It's awesome. And it's I wouldn't call it an indie book because it's a Vertigo book, so it's got like DC behind it, but it's got an indie feel to it, and like it's obviously Scott Snyder's his baby. So like super good. If you guys haven't ever read it, you should definitely check it out. The trades are pretty readily available. I think there's 8 of them so far, and then there's a series running right now that's going to run for 9 or 11 issues. So Power Rangers on Nickelodeon if you want to check that out, and then American Vampire is available through Black Label now, I think.
Very, very, very badass. So the comic book food chain foodies, these are our picks that are coming up. Gogo, just let us know his. And I would definitely fall in line with watch the Power Ranger Dinos, because I'm not a big Power Ranger guy fan, but after our throwdown, I've started the series over again, Gogo, and I gotta tell you, I've been enjoying it. Going through the nostalgia. I'm on the bench press episode where Jason was trying to beat the record.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm at the very beginning. I'm starting over again, but I'm enjoying it. So again, if you guys are bored, you need something to do, hit our picks, and it looks like I am up next. So, the Community. One of my best buds, Tim, is a big fan of the Community, and he's like, Ant, have you ever seen the Community? I said, no, and I've been binge watching this nonstop. It's hilarious.
I have to ask you, what are you watching it on?
Netflix.
So, I don't know if you heard or not, 2 of the episodes got censored from Netflix and Hulu. Wow. Which are two of my favorites, the Dungeons and Dragons episode. So,
message me those, and I need to find those now.
You can watch them on Amazon, I think.
Amazon.
I watched this for the first time last year before they censored them, and those are 2 of the best episodes. And the reason one of them is censored is like it's a smart reason. Like there's a good reason for doing it. It's something that you don't want to promote doing, but it is definitely sideways of the actual thing that it's being censored for. So like I wasn't sure if it was something that needed to be censored, but that's not really for me to say. And like if it offends somebody, that's right. I get it. But definitely if you can track them down, because the Dungeons and Dragons episode is a top 10.
Yeah,
badass.
And then the paintball episodes.
Yeah.
I love the paintball episodes. My kids are actually watching this with me now, and my daughter and I got into an argument because she's watching ahead, which pisses me off. She's like, "Dad, did you see Paintball Part 2?" And I'm like, "Dude, I will drown you in our pool if you tell me anything." And
wait until you get to Part 3.
Okay, so we're rewatching all of these. They're fantastic. I've been really digging this. I identify with each one of these characters on a different level.
Yeah.
And then Berserker came. So typically before I hand my 10-year-old, my son, comic books, I flip through them. So I'm flipping through and he's like, "Can I read it?" I'm like, "Hold on a second." I'm flipping through and I'm like, "Oh shit, there's this finger." He's like, "Can I read it?" I'm like, "No." I'm flipping and I see some more gore and violence. And then he's like, "Dude, seriously?" And I'm like, "All right, don't tell your mom." So I let him read it, and he comes jogging back in. He's like, "Dad, that's a movie." And I'm like, "I know." So him and I have been sneaking this on the side without Laura knowing. But really enjoy it because, it's old guard, but a little more gory, which I love.
It's like old guard if Frank Miller did it.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Holy cow.
Oh,
and the movie, we need to get, who am I thinking? Tarantino to do the movie.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And this thing's out of the park. So I dug the whole thing. My son and I read it together, even though that's a bad parenting choice. I know. I'm sorry. He'll be a well-rounded individual. But
Didn't
these
you
are my
just
2
threaten
picks.
to put your daughter in a pool?
Oh, dude. She was like, "Dad, did you see what happened?" I'm like, "Huh? Don't talk, daughter.
So the dog is the favorite child, is what I'm getting.
I love our pug.
You love it now, but wait until one of its eyes pop out and you have to put it back in.
Laura, he just said, what if one of the eyes pops out and we have to put the pug eye back in? I think that's when we get a new pug. Sorry, we love you.
Do you get another one after that happened?
Yeah, exact same one. We'll call it Penny 2.0.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so these are my picks, guys. If you guys haven't jumped on board, Berserker is a great read. The Community, if you've seen it, rewatch it. If you haven't seen it, start it. It's fantastic. Chang's my favorite character. I have Changnesia right now.
Senor Chang.
Senor Chang. Pierce is not. I could do without Pierce.
No, Pierce is good. Abed, Troy, both both better than Chang. Every day.
Yeah, but they're too much. They're almost too much all the time.
My
daughter is totally what's Alison Brie's character's name?
Abed?
No, the girl, top left counter.
What's her character's name?
What's her character name?
Nobody remembers.
Annie.
Yes,
Annie.
that is my daughter to a T. Aside from the drug problem.
I was gonna say.
The super
and then Alison Brie, if you're
type.
watching, I'm single, so.
I love it.
If anyone is watching, he's single.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is available. We will be taking bids on eBay coming up soon.
We do need a third for the wedding game, so it's
So I mean, so if anyone's available, we can play the newlywed game, even if I don't know you. So
yeah.
You won't win.
He's great at games. He beat us at
I don't know.
Drunk-O-Vison.
I won Drunk-O-Vison, so I think I'm tied with you, Gogol, on the 1-1, right?
If it's a pixelated version of the newlywed game, maybe we'll win, like an NES version. But that's not what it's going to be.
Guys, I'm just here to sell comics, okay?
It's going to be a street fight.
Well, those were my picks before I started a war within Comic Book Food Chain. What do we got next?
Oh, so it's what I'm eating this week. So let's see. Bob's Burgers. I will always watch that show. And yes, I do know it's an indie comic. And I bought an issue 1 for $5 recently. And then I finally got around to reading issue 6 of Department of Truth. Like, the artwork changes inside, which I'll just show you a panel that doesn't spoil anything. So I thought that was pretty neat. Like, it was a nice change of pace. And, I'm even more excited to see what happens in the next issue. So,
yeah, that issue was super good. And I think that the artist change is just like a practical logistic thing. Give the main artist, that was named Simmons, just to give him a month off to catch his breath. Let somebody else come in to tell that one-off story. That's a great one-off story. I was kind of interested, like, where it was going for a while, and then when it like hit where it was going, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then like all the previous issues, like you're just like kind of like, oh, that's even cooler. Like some of the covers, like you're just like, yes, this makes so much sense now.
Yeah,
and then that's what I thought immediately after finishing. I don't want to sell it to anyone because it is a good issue. So if you haven't picked it up, read it.
I'll spoil it. Dumbledore dies.
Yeah. That's pretty true.
Says Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that is the best segment. Like at the end.
I love the one.
My daughter and I do that
when they're interviewing Jeff at like 6 a.m, and it's for no reason.
Yeah.
There's no cameras.
I like how they start getting a bigger audience, like to like be in the background.
People were holding signs behind him when he was making the kettle corn. Yeah, that's great stuff. Okay, sorry, but yes, Bob's Burgers is fantastic. I love Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, guys. Well, that was our picks for the week. Do you guys have anything you guys want to add before we end the show and get on to? Oh, here we go.
Oh,
this is going to be our next show, guys. Becomes
controversy.
Comes out the 18th, right?
Yeah, it comes out on Thursday.
Thursday the 18th. You guys will be able to go to HBO. What is it? What are they calling it? Max.
HBO Max.
HBO Max Plus Prime, whatever the term is after. You got to get a subscription for that. And then, yes, this is going to be on there, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, so this was something I pitched. I thought it would be cool to have an honest conversation about. There's a lot of vitriol when it comes to the Snyder Cut. People hate it. People love it. People campaign for it. But like not necessarily a conversation about whether it's good or not, or better than the Joss Whedon version or whatever, but from the point of view of a creator, a retailer, and a reader, how did it come out? What did they do that worked? What didn't work? Like, have an honest conversation about it. I'm sure that whatever we have to say will piss some people off and make other people feel vindicated. And like, there's no escaping that. But we figured for episode 4, we'd have a little controversy.
Yeah, I dig it. Let's get into it. I mean, I'm not opposed to saying things not everybody will love, so this should be a good one.
I'm just going to say that anyone who's not Batman or Superman shouldn't be on the team because their parents' names isn't Martha. And that is the key criteria. That's my hot take, and I'll die on that hill. If you weren't muted, I bet what you're saying would be hilarious.
It's interesting that you say that. Round 2. Fight. It's interesting that you say that because my daughter said, I'm going to need one of you parents to go away. I'm like, why? She goes, because I can't be a superhero with 2 parents. One of you has to go.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh.
So we don't fit the criteria. She can't be a superhero unless one of us leaves.
So wait, are her choices not being able to eat because one parent can't cook, or being under constant threat of being drowned in the pool because the other parent?
So what you're saying, yeah, it doesn't look good for her either way.
She should just off both of you and become a Superman.
Does she need to call child services right now? So if they're watching,
she's safe
the
for the
number
time
is
being.
below.
Anyone knows the number for Arizona Child Services, please post.
She's like, are you in trouble, dear?
Blink 9 times if no.
Show up in the chat if you're in trouble.
We've been secretly seeding keywords throughout this whole episode. If you put the whole sentence together, we'll know you need help.
That means help is on the way. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. So that, again, we're on the road to 1,000. Make sure that you guys are sending your friends, your family, everybody that you love that loves a little knowledge dropped on you. Some Aaron, you winning some Pixel, Drunk-O-Vison, Gogol kicking ass in any of the versus Civil War games. Myself trailing, just trying to finish my beer. Throw them our way. Comic Book Food Chain is here for you. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before we end it for the night?
I just want to say that I think that your whatever team plays the Globetrotters, like every time,
Every time.
you're never going to win. When
the Washington Sentinels? Is that the name of the team?
Dude,
God.
if they have a team name, nobody knows it.
I want to have an Excel PowerPoint challenge on how to run an exclusive and get all the numbers into that. I run Circle.
You might, but I feel like I'd be competitive at least.
I feel you would be competitive for sure.
I would be clueless in this. I mean, but you know,
I mean, if you guess, you got like if you just guess C on all questions, you got.
Yeah, you're in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've heard enough, shop talk. I could probably like guess my way through.
Fake
You
it
can hang in and be the me in that conversation. Absolutely.
All right, but so yeah, we're still on our way to 1,000 subs. We're less than 300 away. Last time we checked, it was 705. Might be a little more now. We're gonna give away the 400, 500, 600, and 700 giveaways next week. Don't forget to go hop in the comments when this video is on replay and just let us know what your pitch is. You want to see more stuff like, Drunk-O-Vison or Civil War or any of the stupid shit we're going to do, be part of it. Let us know what you want to see. And then when we hit 1,000, we're going to put up that Canto. So
It is on.
it's a hot book. You guys are in charge of how fast you can get it in your hands. One of you at least.
Oh, do
right,
we
guys.
give them a hint of what the next one is going to be?
Nah.
Okay.
Fuck it.
We'll leave them on their toes.
Don't forget to sub, ring the bell, all that bullshit we're supposed to tell you because it's YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Comic Book Food Chain, one word, spelled like you think it's going to be. And then we're just going to wait 2 seconds for Ant to come back. Oh yeah, there it is. That slide I made with the Food Chain Instagram. I have to say, completely unbiased, that the design of the images that we use for the Instagram is very good. Completely unbiased. I won't make them.
And then if you send the message, you'll be chatting with me.
Yeah. He runs it. I give him shit to put up. Well, he asks me for it, and I always give it to him late because
Schedule it. Yeah.
Takes time.
Work, life.
Yeah. So, Dave, you say we're going to be over 1,000 by the weekend. I sure as shit hope we are, because this Canto's burning a hole in my pocket, and I got a Gemini waiting to send it out.
Dang.
Right? Just because I buy them in bulk.
Yep.
So we got a little time to fill since Ant's off camera. For anyone still watching, if you've been watching this, at full transparency, I'm gonna pitch you a commercial right now. If you've been watching and you're at all interested in checking out a book I've written, there are bundles over on my website of all of my stuff. No Heroin, Dead and Kids, Grief. If you want to check it out, there's a nice bundle over there. They all come signed. frankgogol.com/store or some bullshit like that. Go buy my books. Give me your money so I can make comics. But now that Ant's back, and I think he's muted, so he should double check that.
No, I'm on.
Okay, good. Now say the thing.
What thing?
The tagline. The really clever tagline.
All right, guys, here it goes. Ready for my delivery? Again, guys, we want to thank you guys for coming out, watching a comic book food chain, the only podcast that offers the perspective from across the food chain, from creator to retailer to collector. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show tonight. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Gogol and Yi probably already said this, but give us the follows, send some people our way. Be sure to take care of them, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Anything else to add, guys?
Everyone should stay hungry.
Stay hungry, my friends.
Stay hungry.
I don't know if we could coin that, but we're gonna. Peace.
We can put it on a coin.
Ooh.
They have the technology. I think those 7 shots of green beer are getting in my head. We got to go.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.